The Mizell Show turns 50.
50.
The big 5-0. Can you believe we have 50 episodes?
No, I can't. But also, we got the privilege of taking time out of Kelly English's schedule. And if you're not from Memphis, Kelly English, is a local
Memphian, like a huge Memphian.
He's a Memphian. He's a chef, but he's also he's a leader.
He's a leader, and he chooses to give back. And he gave so many nuggets in this interview, and it's like quite fitting for our number 50.
And he uses his craft to not only provide fantastic meals to the city, but also uses it as a mentor, as a leader, as really shaping how COVID, from a restaurant perspective,
had an impact on not just on everything, not just the food industry, but also just people in general. It was a really good episode.
It was a fantastic episode. We hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. Perfect. Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alana Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Steven, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Steven Mizell, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alana, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now.
Yo.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
What up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
We're good.
We're doing good. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good, man. If that's the worst part of my week, we're good.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sure you've listened to a little bit of our podcast, but we do everything from life, motivational, Memphis, and just helping inspire, people in general. And you are one of our, favorite Memphians. And believe it or not, we are dropping our 50th podcast episode, and we wanted to have it with you.
Well, hell yeah. Let's do it.
The big 5-0.
The big 5-0.
Love it.
So we wanted to, start off with you. So if you don't mind, just give us a quick intro, and we'll kind of dive into a few questions. This will be fun and easy, but if you just give us a quick intro, and then we'll hop right in.
Yeah. So my name's Kelly English. I work at a few different restaurants here in town. Restaurant Iris, which is in the process of moving out east. Fino's from the Hill over on Madison and McLean, and then we have Second Line on the corner of Cooper and Madison, and in the former house that had Restaurant Iris in it, we just opened Panta, which is a Catalan restaurant, the Spanish culture that lives around the Barcelona area, and I also have a restaurant in Biloxi, Mississippi, called Magnolia House. It's at the Harrah's Gulf Coast.
Just a few restaurants.
Just a few restaurants going on.
Just a couple.
It's a couple.
No big deal. Okay, so the biggest question that I have for you is, you have all of these restaurants. You just opened like last weekend, the new restaurant.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
How did you survive COVID-19 and thrive?
We were the first restaurant to shut our dining rooms down in Memphis and maybe in Tennessee. We were 4 days before we were ordered to. And if you just want to go through the timeline of what we did real quick, we had a plan in place of what we were going to do. I have a friend that lives in Italy, and we watched what they did for the, they're about 3 weeks ahead of us, or they were during that initial surge. And, I watched it all thinking to myself, like, if Italy is going through this, how arrogant could we be to think that we wouldn't? Italy is a country with, I would say, resources kind of like what we have here. This isn't a country that is hurting for money. It's not, it's got systems in place, and they were shutting down.
Yeah.
And so we had a plan in place that we were going to deliver ready to eat meals to people that were vacuum sealed. Now, the hard part about it was we went from 78 employees to 7 in one day.
Wow.
And we it was hard. It was the first time in my life I've ever looked up and said, I can't take care of my team.
Right.
And I've got to get them in whatever line is going to exist right now.
Yeah.
And those 7 people that were left, every day we looked at each other and we said, every day we're going to do everything we can to bring back as many of those people to our team as we possibly can. Whatever that means today. It could be different things every day.
Right.
And, we got really creative with what we did and how we marketed. I mean, the marketing that what we did got really silly. I even posted from the shower telling you about our specials of the day.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Awesome is a word. My marketing director did not use that word to describe. But hey, people paid attention to what we were doing.
Yeah, and people responded to it for sure.
It was really during that time that I took my job as the part of my chef that was a cook came very second to. I've never been in a position where I've had to lead my team harder, and we're in a kind of a really fortunate position here in Memphis that we've gotten to make a name for ourselves, and people kind of look to us, or did start looking to us for whether it be levity or direction on what to do, or just sometimes when we were down in the dumps, I would let you know that. And I think that one of the things that really came about in the restaurant world during this was that it truly became okay not to be okay. And kind of the long game of restaurants is you ask, how's the restaurant going? And no matter what's happening, oh, it's great.
It's going great.
It's busy.
It's busy.
It's awesome.
And I've lied through my teeth before about that, and we worked really hard. We were not a restaurant group that started with a bunch of money in our pocket from the beginning or when COVID hit. Like we really had to pivot hard fast. And I think that a combination of luck, a combination of having the right people come back when we could bring them back, and just hard work and luck, man. We also sprung very hard into being a good part of our community. Early on, we started delivering food to first responders, to our homeless neighbors, to people that were trying to save us, to the people that were giving out COVID tests and COVID shots. We partnered with people around the community to help us do that. And, that's always been a part of who we are, but we found a new way to do it.
Yeah.
No, I think that's incredible. And I think something that you mentioned through that is the pivot. And so through this, I know on the outside looking in as a consumer, a lot of lessons has been learned through restaurants, and some restaurants have gone to like maybe smaller menus or been more nimble. What was something you say you learned from this has now actually been a growth point for you?
We learned, there's a lot of things we learned. We've learned that it's a better business model to be open less right now. For many reasons, not just financial, but it gives not just my team, but me a break to get away from the building every week. There were months going, through the years that there were probably years that the restaurant has been open that I have taken less than 20 days off.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the midst of also continuously opening other restaurants.
Yeah. I mean, so don't find too much sympathy for me, because I did continue to do that. But, it's a hard business. In the restaurants, you make between 3 and 5% profit. So think about that.
Yeah.
It's terrible investment. It's awful.
Yeah.
And that means that we are chasing pennies. We're not looking for dollars. We're looking for pennies on the ground. And we are, think about, so if you were to ask me to describe my job kind of to someone that didn't know it, I would tell you that I work really long hours. The pay in restaurants is not the best. And I get critically judged for every aspect of everything we do.
Yep.
Like it's a tough business, especially, when you bring in the profit model. We've all been to restaurants before where we're like, you know what, it was good, but the cheeseburger took 5 minutes too long. I don't know if I want to go back. Like,
right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You also mentioned how your leadership, you had to step up your leadership. What would you say from a leadership scope prepared you to take on going from 70 plus employees to 7 and just being able to kind of keep that morale up, and then taking on a large component of the city's morale as well?
Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
I grew up in New Orleans.
Okay.
I grew up in New Orleans, and the company that I worked for, then we immediately pivoted to relief. We immediately pivoted to going from making really frou-frou, food that was a feat of architecture and really fancy, to making red beans and rice, and getting in canoes and taking them to people that were trying to help people, or people that needed help. And so I didn't mention that earlier. That was definitely a part of it. Like, it was, and in the beginning of the pandemic, we didn't know if touching a surface was going to kill you.
Yeah. Right.
Like we didn't, which has turned out it wasn't. But, when we were first going the first few days, one of the hardest parts was leading a team of people that needed and wanted to be there through that kind of stress, where we've got to get things done. We got to get things done the right way. But we don't know if the actions that we're taking are going to really adversely affect our health or the people that we love.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So I have a million questions I could ask you. One of the biggest things that I've noticed, no matter which restaurant we go into, is there's this woven culture of loyalty and a level of customer service that you don't always get in restaurants. What do you teach your team, or what do you specifically look for in your employees to have that kind of bread throughout your restaurants?
Optimistic hospitality is the word we use.
Okay.
And we approach every interaction that we have, whether it be with our coworkers, with our guests, with our vendors, with, the health inspector, with whoever it may be, with optimism that that's going to be a great interaction that we're going to have. And that mindset's important. And, I will take someone with a great attitude over somebody with learned skills any day of the week. I feel like we can bring you into our culture. We can show you the learned skills that we've picked up along the way. But there are certain things that you either have or you don't. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be tired. I'm going to have worked all day long. I want to be around people that are positive.
Yeah. I love that.
No, I think that's very important. So in our podcast, I think a couple episodes ago, we talked about some of our best advice we've been given. And one of the pieces of advice that I shared on the show was every day you have to make your bed. And the theory behind that is like there's small pieces of your day that matriculate into big things. And so my thing to you is, as you get to where you are and where you're continuing to grow, what are some small steps that Kelly English does every day, i.e. make his bed, that helps him grow and helps him continue to strive for his goals?
Did you know that I sell makeup? Not only do I sell makeup, but the makeup that I sell is 3D makeup, which allows you to highlight and contour your face in a super simple compact. As a mom, I could not survive without my simplified routine. Not only that, but it's exactly what you need. Exactly when you need it, all in one spot. Go ahead and check out Alana Mizell on Instagram or alanamizell.com to learn more.
Yo, I make my bed.
Yes!
I make my bed. I do.
Yes!
That's awesome.
That is it. That's it. You start your day accomplishing a task. You walk into someone's area and you can tell where their head is at by how organized it is. And I'm not like this organizational freak or anything like that, but like I make my bed. I start my day accomplishing something.
Yeah.
I am absolutely obsessed with making a calendar list, and I can't. So I have ADD, and I can't look at a calendar. It just like it looks like the Charlie Brown teacher sounds to me. So I need a linear list. So I make a Google Doc with a list of like, and I have a year and a half out of things like when people add things to my calendar that I put it on there. But to me, it's all about, and not everything's going to work for everybody. That's one of the things that I've truly realized over this last year, and being, I've been through a divorce before. And I think that those experiences, you understand that people are people, and no two people are the same. You cannot expect anyone else to thrive under your set of things that work for you. And you can't be upset with someone for having their own system or for failing when you're telling them that you have to use their system. When I hire my managers or my team, I'm not a micromanager. I believe that you can do one of two things, but not both. You can tell someone what to do or how to do it, but you can't tell them both. You've got to, I believe in hiring the best people I can find, telling them where I want them to get, and then letting them get there. I'm not going to let them fail along the way. If they start doing something that I think is detrimental or isn't going to be of value to them or to me, I'll let them know. But I really think that you get the best results and unexpected results when you let people do their jobs.
Yeah, I love that.
It's good.
I love that. So you've got the new restaurant. What inspired you to open really a pretty different style restaurant than you've opened before?
In a different restaurant, I think I try to say up on Memphis, but like me never seeing anything like this in Memphis. So it's like,
especially from the decor to everything's different. What inspired you?
And post-COVID.
So I lived in Barcelona for a bit.
Okay.
When I was younger. That's where I fell in love with food and wine. But one of the most important pivots that we did during COVID was we did a pop-up for 3 months of Catalan food, which is this type of food that we're cooking now. And it really helped put food on the table for my team. And when we made the decision to move out east, it was very natural. Now, the other thing that I've been very proud of, I guess I'll just say I'm proud of it, is we had our opening weekend here this past weekend, and I've never seen a more diverse crowd of people in my life, from race to age to anything that you can name. People remarked to me that it felt like Memphis now, and that you just don't you don't get to see that mix of people too often. And that's one of the things that we really want to do. One of the things that I think that because we've had such a loyal group of people working for us, I think one of the things that we have fallen very short on is diversity in our management group. And this restaurant represents not only an opportunity for us to change that, but the guy that's going to be running in the front of the house, Aaron Ivory, it's not just like we were like, oh, we need to fix this, let's fix it with Aaron. Aaron's the right guy. And we're really excited for him to spread his wings and to see where that restaurant goes. And we wanted to represent something more than food and drink.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think that's awesome.
I mean, I was staring at the decor and I was like, it's an experience when you walk in, for sure. Top to bottom. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
David Coral.
Yeah. Who was the decor? Like who helped?
I was just
you
saying David Coral. David Corals did that. And he is a madman, and I love him. And awesome. When we were trying to figure out who was going to do that restaurant, like it just kept coming back to him. He's the right guy for the job. Yeah. And he knocked it out of the park. So
let's be honest here. Did you have a moment to grieve? Like that was your baby, Iris, and you're like closing and and I know you're just moving, but like that was the spot for you. Did you grieve? How'd you feel about making that change to that building and maybe knocking down a wall and tearing down a spot that was like super special to you?
No, man, this puts our team in a better position. Like it was time. I will tell you that the closest that I've come to grieving this past year was was this when the snow hit a few months ago, and like the water, there was no. It was the first day since March of 2019. Yeah, first day since 2019, March of 2019, that I could not even make a decision that would do anything for the business. And it was the most cathartic. I woke up that morning. I got a cup of coffee. I sat in my bed. I looked out the window and saw the snow come down. I just wept. It was the most relieving and fulfilling moment. And I'm not like on alone that I've had in a long time.
Yeah. And how long do you feel like
it was heavy
to do that? Like it was like 2 years worth of needing to have a moment by yourself. And finally you were like, I got nothing left. Here we go.
Yeah, I was empty. The COVID was heavy. The COVID was, and not to, I mean, people lost their lives, people lost their loved ones. But being a small business owner in a restaurant, COVID was heavy. It was a weight that never lifted. We didn't know, we had to change our business model while we were doing it. We had to build an airplane while we were in the air.
Yeah.
And we had to tell our team that we knew what we were doing, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And it was heavy. It was heavy every day, especially in the beginning. The stress that existed amongst teams, even great tight knit teams, was just, it was something that I couldn't do. I wasn't qualified to deal with. And, every decision, every decision you made affected people's lives. And, it's a strange thing to kind of do the same thing every day. So everybody kind of knows what you're going to do. And then have the team turn to you and say, okay, we just laid off almost everyone on the team. What's the whole plan? How does it work? What's my role? How do I do it? How do I get paid? What do I do here? And I was just like, I don't know. Like, we're going to have to figure that out. I don't know.
Did you realize how much of Memphis was looking at you before all of that happened? Or was it the people also of Memphis saying, Kelly, what are you going to do? On top of your 7 employees that were left?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't think that I thought of myself as like anything anybody would like look to for an example. But I think I did make a decision early on that, like, all right, I'm gonna put this backpack on and I'm walking. And I probably cussed more. I won't cuss on your podcast. but I'm effing walking.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. I think that what I do think about our restaurants is I think that people probably think that it's a fancy restaurant that's won a lot of awards. We must have it pretty easy. And we must, we've led somewhat of a charmed life. And I thought it was really important for me to be honest with people about when it wasn't okay and when it was hard. And when, I think that's one of the things that really bothers me about our politics these days in general. And I'm not even, yes, I guess there are two sides of everything, but one of the and it's both sides. Like, nobody wants to ever admit that they have ever made a mistake in their life. Yeah. They want to pretend like everything they've done is right, and that they're going to defend, the stupid thing they said when they were in high school because, whatever. Man, if I'm looking for a leader, I want a leader that will tell me what they did wrong and how they've changed their life and show me how they've done it. Show me in a tangible way the ways that you've changed and what you learned from the mistakes you've made. I've made plenty of mistakes. And, I think that I wish people would be more open about that.
Yeah. And I think that's great. And so as we turn the corner and head for home, Alana just recently had some advice that she gave on a recent podcast. And we wanted to pick your brain about that.
Mine was more along the lines of not everybody likes you. So why are you worried about them not liking you? And
Right.
And more so of you also don't like everybody else. So in the world's full of you get criticism like every other second. How do you take that when somebody doesn't like you for no reason?
It's probably my weakest part of me. As a restaurateur, I'm a people pleaser. That's what I do. You come in, I make you happy. Part of my job is to be, liked by your customers. And, but you're right, and there are some times that you just need to move on from that. I think that being a people pleaser can be extremely toxic. I've learned that over the last year too. And so, I think that there are certain times that, you've got to give your all to repair especially, look, I think the first part of that is owning your own BS. Like we all have our own BS. We all have a role in every negative moment that we've been in. Very few times probably that's not true, but we all have our own role in it. And I think that self-examination is really important. And sometimes self-examination leads you to a place where you're like, you know what, me and this person need to move on from each other. Or that's just, that's not somebody that I want to be associated with. Or, I've got to accept that they don't want to be associated with me, even if they've got me wrong.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity cost. What moments are you costing yourself by trying to repair something that it's just not going to repair? Like, go have the other moments.
Yeah.
That being said, it's tough in my business to do that. It's tough.
Yeah. However, opportunity clause. Now, I like that phrase that you said, the opportunity clause. Kind of like risk versus reward. If I spend so much time on this, I'm wasting time on the opportunity that I actually need to be going through. I love that.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. Opportunities and threats are external.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it. So next up is Kelly English writes a book.
Yeah.
Right?
If you can find me a couple months in the year, maybe I can do that.
Somebody would just have to follow you down and record you and then type it later like they did for presidential candidates kind of thing. We might be able to arrange something like that, but we'll see. I think that'd be awesome.
No, we definitely appreciate you coming on. So before we let you go, I didn't know about this. Can you give us a sneak peek about where Iris is going or what's next with this?
Is that public knowledge?
Is it secret or?
Yeah. No. We're moving to Laurelwood, where the Grove Grill used to be.
Yes.
It's a 200-seat restaurant.
That's my hood. Yes.
Yeah. So what we believe that move will do is allow us to give insurance to our entire staff. I don't even get insurance from my job. I pay for that on the marketplace. So that's one of the hard parts of restaurants right now. But we will. We think that we can put our team in a better position all around by all these moves we're making.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Great. I grew up in East Memphis, White Station, so I know exactly where Laurelwood is. So we are pumped about that for you and looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Kelly, thank you. We
really appreciate you.
We are so grateful for you, and we can't wait to eat at the new restaurant.
No, thank you all so much for having me. And it's good to see y'all, and I hope to see y'all in person soon, and keep up the good work, y'all.
All right, appreciate you.
Thanks,
thank you.
Kelly. So if you guys are enjoying this, definitely leave us a review. Give us the feedback. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us on our website at themizellshow.com. There is a contact section. You can put it in there. We would love to hear about it. Or you can always go over to Instagram at The Mizell Show. Also, as always, don't forget to screenshot this episode and just add it to your stories and tag us on Instagram, on Facebook at The Mizell Show. Thanks, guys. Are you loving The Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram @themizellshow.